Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today we're taking a look at the Ripple XRP price chart. Obviously, yesterday was an absolutely chaotic day for the XRP price. We'll take a peek throughout the rest of the market and try to get an idea of what's going on here with the XRP price. Yesterday, the price crumbled, taking out all of the weekly and monthly support levels. And well, now here we are stuck at about 26 to 27 cents. One of the tools that I like to use for myself is I actually have some charts set up over on charts.cointrader.pro where I'll compare a lot of digital assets throughout the market to get an idea on what their percentage gains have been throughout a period of time. What we're looking at right here is how much percentage growth these assets have had since September. So I've got like maybe 20 or 30 assets on this list right in here. But if you look at what the purple one is, you can see that XRP, the purple one, has completely lost compared to the rest of the market, is completely deviated from what the rest of the market has done. And yesterday, after XRP really started capitulating to the downside, a lot of these altcoins started doing it as well. But we can see how in the rankings of percentage gains since September, how XRP moved all the way down in the list. If you're unaware of the events going on in the cryptocurrency market right now, 2 days ago, the SEC charged Ripple and two of its executives, which would be Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, with conducting a $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering, with $600 million of that, nearly half of that, being for their own personal benefit. These are the allegations by the SEC. Ripple has not had the opportunity to publicly defend themselves in a court yet. However, that's what these allegations are from the SEC. Then, the day after the filings were made by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the chairman of the SEC put in his letter of resignation and resigned from the SEC. Yesterday on my Twitter, I did include links to all of these documents. So you have the 71-page charging instrument from the SEC, Ripple's public response, and then the summary of Ripple's Wells submission right down in here. So you can read all of these documents for yourself of what's going on with Ripple and what's going on with XRP. And obviously, there's a lot of fear and a lot of panic going on with XRP right now, with the price taking out all of its support levels that we've been watching for, at this point, years. We've been watching 30.5 cents for years at this point. Last month was such a celebration to finally get above this price level, and now at this point, we are below it. There are still 3 days remaining in this week for the weekly candle to close above that price level. There are still 7 days remaining in the month for the monthly candle to close above those price levels. So that's something that I'm really going to be waiting for throughout the rest of the week and the rest of the month, is to say, hey, can we find some kind of optimism here? Because if the first sign of it that we're going to need is going to be that. You could see how 30.5 cents was the resistance level back in 2017, the support level in 2018, and then the resistance level in 2019 and 2020. Unable to clear it all of 2020. Monstrous breakout that took place back in November, and then XRP completely crumbling and taking it back, and significantly deviating in the percentage drop compared to what the rest of the altcoins and the rest of the market has done. As we can see, this green one and this regular candlestick pattern that we have right here, this one is actually Bitcoin right here. So we can see there was no huge monstrous move in Bitcoin to cause this. This is XRP doing this essentially on its own, moving way down the list. Looking at it on the weekly time frame, we can see how this has been our resistance level for over a year. And looking at it on the daily time frame, we can see just in the 1 day that we've had since we've broken down below it, that we have come back and just kind of wicked at that level already. As for the amount of volume that we're seeing here in this price action, our volume has exceeded what the top of this move looked like when XRP fired all the way up to 93 cents on Coinbase, and the irrational pricing of exceeding every other exchange and getting all the way up to 93. We can see how much volume took place back then for that to happen, and we could see how much absolute panic and selling has taken place in this move, far exceeding what the top was back over here. We can also see how there was a very huge buy order that took place in here, exceeding the 2-hour volume out of any other spot here on this chart. But at the same time, we can see that the pullback went right back to our 30.5 cent price level, which is the support level that we lost yesterday. To say what has happened here is disappointing would be an understatement. Obviously, this has been absolutely devastating and ravishing on these price charts, with these prices completely falling apart. Looking down here on the bottom side of the screen, we can see the total altcoin market cap for the rest of the market not following in line with what XRP is doing. So clearly, XRP is going off on its own, doing its own thing, shattering its own supports, unlike what the rest of the market is doing. With XRP sitting at the same pricing from about February 2020, that would be equivalent to seeing the entire market cap of crypto for the altcoins falling about 50% right now, from about 188 all the way down to 93. I would say one of the most disappointing things about this happening here on the XRP price chart, outside of it just being disappointing of what's going on with Ripple and what's going on with the SEC and what's happening with if XRP has the potential of being labeled as a security, with a lot of these exchanges talking about, hey, do we have to remove XRP from our exchange because we'd be trading an unregistered security? Outside of all of those events, and we just talk about the XRP price chart, what's the most disappointing thing going on here is that we have deviated so far away from the actual rest of the market. You have Bitcoin sitting at an all-time high. You have the altcoin market cap continuing to grind up, and yet now you have XRP completely deviated away from the rest of it. Now, I've started this video off trying to be pretty serious, trying to be real, just kind of explaining these facts and telling you exactly what they look like. As for me, I'm a holder. I'm not letting go of it. Even if it looks bleak, even if it looks scary, this is not a time for me to let go of it. I'm a holder, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to carry this out and ride this thing through. From a technical perspective, it doesn't look pretty. It looks really rough. And if you've followed this channel for a long time, I've told this story at least 10 times on what life was like back in here. It was really, really bad. And I've tried to explain that even the people who have been through this entire bear market, explaining it down in here of like, you think it's bad right now. You have no idea how bad it really was back in here. You had Bitcoin like 8 times higher than the all-time high. You had the rest of the total altcoin market cap taking off, and you had XRP still sitting 50% below the all-time high. It was an incredibly tough and rough moment in time, and it felt like the rest of the market was just taking off without XRP and completely leaving it behind. The FUD was horrible. Everything was terrible. It was just the absolute worst place to be at the time was to be in XRP. You were the loser. Everybody around you was winning except for you in XRP. I look at this moment right now and I compare this moment of how does it feel now compared to how it felt back then, right before the bull market began. And you can see over here on the XRP over Bitcoin price chart of what that time was like right back in there. So you can see we're at these same levels doing this same style move all the way down. And then yet this was the start of the end of year 2017 bull run. And I can tell you right now, it feels worse right now than it did back in here. So for everybody who's been around for the longest period of time and heard me talk about this on how bad it felt back in here with the rest of the market taking off and how just bleak things looked back there, we're looking the same here. It's feeling bleak. It's feeling rough. It's feeling tough. It's feeling hopeless. And that's how it felt right before the bull run absolutely sent this thing completely flying. Our circumstances this time are clearly different, right? Is this SEC thing going to end up being a big deal? Are exchanges going to have to treat this as a big deal? We don't know yet because we're only 48 hours after all of this occurring. Clearly, the investors in XRP have reacted, but the question is it an overreaction at this point? Is there an opportunity here now that XRP is so far away from the actual rest of the market, the rest of the total altcoin market cap? We're going to have to wait and see how things play out. From a technical perspective, like I said, I want to see that monthly candle. I want to see that weekly candle close above 30.5 cents. As of right now, there's still time for that. But this is one of those scenarios where judgment is really tough to do. You have a lot you have to consider here, right? You see the XRP over Bitcoin price chart at the exact levels that it was at before the start of the 2017 bull run. You see sentiment and you see everything in the absolute gutter, just like it was before the start of the 2017 bull run. I have had to tell that story so many times that, it wasn't this optimistic moment that led up to this thing actually exploding. The toxicity, the negativity, the FUD leading into this moment for it to finally break out, it was not optimistic in here. It was bleak and terrible down in there before this thing eventually took off. And I can say with certainty, with all my experience of being through all of this, that this moment in time compares to this moment, if not worse. So there comes this judgment, right? There's this judgment to make of, is this actually the greatest opportunity ever to grab this thing? And it's totally being overreacted to. And this is just a huge buying opportunity because it's deviated so far away from the rest of the market. Or is there further consequences that are going to come down the line? Are we going to have to see things where Coinbase delists XRP because it's potentially an unregistered security and they can't have it on their website anymore? It is a tricky, tricky time right now to figure out what's the right move to do in here. From just a technical standpoint, like I said, getting back above 30.5 to close the weekly candles and to close the monthly candles is the first step for us to see any type of short-term positive price action movements that could potentially come in the near future. And we're talking weekly and monthly candles. We're not even talking about daily candles at this point. It's now about weekly stuff. We need to see weekly candles and monthly candles close above 30.5 to feel a little bit more optimistic about this thing that, hey, things look like they're going to be okay. And of course, we don't want to be seeing things where major US exchanges are cutting off entry and exit points for investors in the United States to be able to buy and sell XRP. I've seen rumors floating around in the rumor mill over there on Twitter that potentially Coinbase could be delisting it. I hate talking about rumors because I have no way to know if any of that is accurate. But we've seen a couple of smaller exchanges that have already done it. And man, I cannot imagine a more bleak scenario that would happen as Bitcoin at an all-time high and as a big shakeout event. How shaken out can you get people, right? You scare them with SEC, and you scare them with U.S. exchange delistings. It's absolutely incredible, and you have to at this point make your own judgment, right? I mean, what is it going to be? Is it going to be that this is actually going to pan out just completely fine? None of this bad stuff's going to happen. This thing's going to get dropped, and everything is going to be great, and then the price just fires to the upside, and the people who bought it were the absolute geniuses, the ones who had the faith the whole time. Or do you have to treat all of this as extremely serious and that, you know what, things aren't looking so bleak and things aren't going to be okay? It is a difficult, difficult time. And as for me, like I always mention, I'm an accumulator, right? So I'm a holder. I have a long-term plan and a long-term vision, and I'm treating it like that for the entire cryptocurrency market. So I hold through all this stuff. This is chaotic. This is wild. This is the most volatile market in the world. And we watched it happen here just in the last 48 hours of what can happen. And boy, that was a black swan. Boy, that was something that was unexpected. And that's something I've never seen of that magnitude directed specifically at one asset. I mean, you look at all the assets that you own probably and you say, oh my gosh, this one really has to be this one. Maybe that's because XRP is the one and it's the one they have to go after. And there's some bigger play that's going to happen in the long run. But in the end, I have a long-term goal. I have a long-term future and a long-term outlook on all of this. So as we head into the holiday season, the things that I'm going to be looking for is the reclaiming of the 30.5 cent price level for some optimism, right? Seeing a weekly candle close above there, seeing the December monthly candle close above there. And right now, it's a really difficult time. We don't know how bad things are. We don't know if things aren't that bad. And right now, we're kind of in that rumor mill of wondering what could happen, what could come, what's in the pipeline, how bad can things get, how bad are things not going to get. It's really a super complicated time, and that uncertainty is being transpired into the price action, obviously, right? But like I mentioned, I'm a holder. I'm here. I'm not letting go. I'm staying put, even through all of this uncertainty. And the things that provide me optimism and hope are things of looking back at what my experiences have taught me. And that's how bad things had gotten back in here, how there was this moment of just absolute no, that no, it's never going to go. And then, of course, it ended up taking off. A look at the XRP over Bitcoin chart and how dramatic and painful it was. So every time you heard me talk about that and say how it was bleak, it was not good, it was toxic and bad, now you get to see that, right? You see how bad this move is right here at this ending right here. You see how bad this move was right here before the ending, before the bull run started. It was this big, bleak, dark, depressing thing that happened right before XRP ended up taking off. We're seeing the same thing going on right here, right? And now it's that big moment of, are we going to miraculously just fly out of here somehow? And, I have to hold on to that and say, I look at the big picture of cryptocurrency and where this is all going. Because in the end, I ask myself, why does this get dropped right here, right now? out the week after Bitcoin breaks into an absolute all-time high by an SEC chairman who resigns from his position the day after he puts this out. So the last thing he does before he leaves office is drops this big grenade into the cryptocurrency market. All of it's fishy, all of it's weird. They say they've known about this for years, but let it continue to go on for years and waits till his last day before he resigns to do this. It's all just really weird, and there's a lot of unknowns going on right now. So I stick to my plan. I see Bitcoin at an all-time high, and as an accumulator and as a hodler, I remain unwavered in my decisions and stay put, waiting for the big write-up, just like I talk about over here on bcbacker.com. Absolutely nothing changes with my opinions that I have on this website, and I'm riding this thing out because I look at Bitcoin, I look at the rest of the crypto market, and there's not a chance I'm changing what's happening when an SEC chairman drops some type of bomb like this the day before he resigns. So a lot of unknowns out there right now. We'll watch how the days play out, but in the end, I stay put and I continue following my plan. And like I mentioned earlier, today is Christmas Eve and tomorrow is Christmas. So I'd like to wish all of you a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. I know everybody celebrates different holidays. For us, Christmas is the big one here in our household. It's the most exciting time of the year for us. So I hope that you all have a fantastic holiday. Give yourself a break. Don't look at the charts. In the end, family is the thing that matters the most. And in the end, no amount of money will ever matter without your family. So enjoy them and realize, what are you doing all this for? And for me, I'm doing all of this for my family, so I'm going to enjoy my family. And like every dark moment we've had in this market prior, we'll get through this one together too. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.